Welcome to Strategy Saturday. I'm Charles Carillo, and today we're going to be discussing property inspection mistakes to avoid. Have you always wanted to invest in real estate but didn't have the time, didn't know where to find the deals, couldn't get the funding, and didn't want tenants calling you? Since 2006, I've been buying income-producing properties in great locations that provide us with consistent passive income while we wait for appreciation in the future and take advantage of tax laws while we're waiting. And unlike your financial advisor, we invest alongside our investors in every property we purchase. Check out investwithharborside.com. If you like the idea of investing in real estate, if you like the idea of passive income, partner with us at investwithharborside.com. That's investwithharborside.com. You should always hire a property inspector when purchasing a piece of real estate. Make sure that an inspection period, due diligence period, is included in your purchase and sale agreement. There are several mistakes I've witnessed over the years from property inspectors and from buyers. Number one, typically buyers will request the name of an inspector from their real estate agent and use that company without doing any other research. This may be fine, but you want to make sure that the inspector you are hiring has experience with your property type. If you're purchasing an older home or commercial property or apartment complex, do they specialize in this property type? Number two is make sure you're present for the inspection. This is a huge investment and you should be there. Do some research online, possibly find a property inspection checklist, and make sure that they are addressing all of the potential issues. If there are some lingering issues or possible issues that cannot be reviewed and checked off by your inspector, hire a separate inspector. This is common for roofs, pest and termite inspections, HVACs. You have to have a specialist there, not a generalist, if there is a potential issue. Number three is roofs, and this is a very important point, especially in areas that are prone to wind and or hurricanes like Florida. Your roof dictates the insurability of your property in these areas. If I was buying any property in this type of area, I would hire a roof inspector. In other areas, a property inspector should be able to let you know the age and the life left on the roof. Look at property permits to see when the roof was last permitted. Now, that doesn't mean the last time it was touched. They could have done some weekend roof work where they added on another layer or did some work on it, and they never had it permitted because there was no building inspectors driving around. See how many layers are on it and get on the roof to inspect. And don't forget to check the condition of the flashing around the chimneys, which are notorious for leaks. And check in the attic to see if there's any signs of water. Number four is mechanicals, mainly your hot water heater and your HVAC. The hot water heater is pretty straightforward. Usually the date of installation will be written on the tank, but you can also usually tell from how it looks and also see, is it leaking? If it's older, and when I consider it older, I would say 6 to 9 years plus is old. If it's leaking, you're going to be asking the seller for a credit. HVAC is the main mechanical, though, that needs to be inspected, since this can get expensive. If there are any doubts, hire an HVAC professional to come out and inspect. If it requires servicing, get a written quote. 5, pests and termites. If there's a sign of pest damage, I would suggest hiring a professional that specializes in this. Figure out how in-depth the problem is and then cost to remediate it and get a written quote so you can provide that to the seller. Make sure you review and test all appliances. In rental properties, the appliances are usually not that expensive compared to a single family house, but they can add up. Some of the newer high-end fridges can be expensive if they need to be replaced. If you have appliances that are 10 plus years old, make sure they are all functioning, since those will most likely need to be replaced in the near future. Number 7 is flooring. Check around water sources to see if there's any leaks or past leaks. Under sinks, around toilets, walk on all the floors and see if they're not firm. It is common for people to cover over floor issues. 8 is walk around the exterior of the property and look for potential water issues. When it rains, is the water being sent away from the property or towards the property? Are there any holes near the foundation and the ground where water could get to your foundation? When the water leaves a downspout, is it being sent away from your property? These are very important things because water is very damaging. And many of the points concerning water and water intrusion really need to be taken into consideration because water is probably one of the most damaging things to your property. After you find and hire the property inspector, make sure they're addressing the points above and be a second set of eyes when they're performing their inspection. Don't hesitate to ask questions, and if you do not understand something, the property inspector is working for you. So I hope you enjoyed. Please remember to rate, review, subscribe, submit comments and potential show topics at globalinvestorspodcast.com. Look forward to 2 more episodes next week. See you then.
Nothing in this episode should be considered specific, personal, or professional advice. Any investment opportunities mentioned on this podcast are limited to accredited investors. Any investments will only be made with proper disclosure, subscription documentation, and are subject to all applicable laws. Please consult an appropriate tax, legal, real estate, financial, or business professional for individualized advice. Opinions of guests are their own. Information is not guaranteed. All investment strategies have the potential for profit or loss. The host is operating on behalf of Syndication Superstars LLC exclusively.